Aren't the only five by any means, right? Happy 5 Fact Friday. 5 Fact Friday. I'm Charlie Lambden and it is 5 Fact Friday. Good morning, everybody. It's 5 Fact Friday from the road on Friday the 10th of November 2023. I'm Charlie Lambden. This is Moving Home with Charlie, and this is the weekly short video that I do to go through the 5 most significant reported verifiable facts that have happened in the housing market in the last 7 days. I might sprinkle a little bit of opinion in there as well, but basically it's about the facts. So if you want to go, the links to all of these are below if you're watching on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook. But if you're on Instagram or TikTok, then you'll need to go to my website, mhwc.co.uk. It's the blog page there, and you'll find the links there. And also welcome to all of you who are listening on the audio podcast. Numbers on that growing every single week. So many of you listening. So thanks for listening. And again, if you're listening on the podcast, the links are also in the show notes of the podcast you're listening to. But without further ado, let's get into fact number 1, which was that the Halifax released its monthly house price index for October, where the headlines all repeated the fact that the Halifax has said house prices went up for 1 month. I mean, they've been down for 6 months and they're down year on year and they're down on the quarter, but they went up for 1 month. And what they should have reported is the most important thing in there is that Kim Kinnaird, the director of Halifax, actually said, we expect house prices to fall further overall with a return to growth from 2025. Or in other words, we're expecting house prices to fall until 2025. Nobody reported that. Literally nobody reported that. Like, that wasn't the most important thing in there. 1 month it went up. Thank God. It's the end. It's the end of the house price falls because the Halifax said that 1 month it went up. No, the Halifax said they're expecting house prices to fall for another 2 years. That's actually what they reported, but nobody reported it. So you're welcome. I'm reporting it. And it's a fact. You can verify it. You can go and read the release yourself. The next one is the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors released their monthly survey of their surveyors around the country. On sales, they said still very negative, marginally less negative than last month, but still expecting house price falls the next 3 months and the next 12 months. And they basically said it was negative. But again, because it was marginally less negative than last month, people were going, oh, the RACS says the end is in sight and maybe we're through the worst. No, they didn't say that. They didn't say it, but people reported it. But I thought the most interesting thing, which is what I've got on screen here, is that for the first time, the outlook for lettings in London turned negative. Can you see? It's that one there, right, the second one in. It's the only area where tenant demand has turned negative over the last 3 months, right? But for those of you struggling to pay rent in London, that's going to be welcome news. The next fact is that I put out a video this week explaining that average house prices can go up when house prices themselves are going down. And there is a link to this spreadsheet below. But the most important thing that it points out is that in this scenario where I've painted 8 properties selling twice a year apart, when with 7 out of 8, the prices drop, 1 out of 8 properties, the prices go up. The mean or the average shows an average price increase of 0.9%, right? When actually 7 out of 8 of them went down. But the median showed a price reduction of 2.3%. That is mathematical fact. There's no opinion about that. I have therefore proved to you that when the majority of house prices are actually going down, the average can still go up because of a few high-end outliers. Go and check it out for yourself. The link to this spreadsheet you can see for yourself below. Now, on more worrying news, although there's a glimmer of good news in there as well, the UK Finance reported mortgage arrears and possessions this week for Q3. And there were 88,000 homeowner mortgages in arrears of 2.5% or more of the outstanding balance in the third quarter. That's a 7% increase on the previous quarter. So that's not a tick up. It's a significant step up in arrears, and 2.5% of the outstanding balance is quite a. It's not like 1 month or 2 months. That's a significant outstanding balance. But the other thing that they show, which is quite interesting, is that the number of homeowners, mortgage properties that were taken back into possession by the bank was fewer than the previous quarter, suggesting that the bank's forbearance and giving people 12 months extra is actually taking effect. And so I massively welcome any reduction in the number of people having their homes repossessed. So that is good news, although I fear it's kicking the can down the road if overall the arrears are going up. They also point out that the number of buy-to-let mortgage properties taken in possession was unchanged, and it was 450. Relatively small numbers for now, and that's good. Long may that last. I fear it won't. Point number 5. Just this morning, the ONS released the GDP figures for the last 3 months, and they have reported that GDP showed no growth in the 3 months to September 2023. All right, which is unsurprising. Apparently, according to the news, economists, including the Bank of England, were expecting it to be worse than that. But it is an estimate and it will be revised, but those are the figures. And that does affect the housing market because the growth in the economy affects the economy and affects jobs and it affects wages. And jobs and wages affect house prices in the future more than anything else. So if you want to know what's going to happen with house prices in the future, you've got to know what's happening with the economy, with jobs in particular, and with real wage growth especially. Right, guys, that's it. It was a quick one, I told you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you guys soon. See you on the next video, guys. Bye-bye.